Last lesson we looked at the idea of adding and subtracting fractions. We're going to build on that today, but sort of go back over it a little bit as we look at adding and subtracting mixed numerals. That's these sorts of things, remember, with a whole number out the front. When we do these, though, we need to break it down. First, add or subtract the whole numbers that are out the front. Then add or subtract the fractions. You could say with a fraction like 6 1/3, really what 6 1/3 is 6 plus 1/3. And remember, mathematicians, we always like to shorten things, so we write it as 6 1/3. What you could say is 6 plus 1/3 plus 4 plus 1/2 is all still that same question. So when we say we can reorganise the numbers, really what we're doing is saying you can do 6 plus 4 plus 1/3 plus 1/2. Then you can do that part and then that part. That's effectively what we're about to do. I'm just sort of showing you the theory a bit, but I want to show you the working in a way that you can use most of the time rather than having to understand all the theory. But effectively, that's what we're doing. When you've got 6 and 1/3, you're saying you've got 6 wholes and 1/3 of a whole, or 1/3 parts of the whole. So we can break it up, redistribute it, and then work out the answer. So let's look at these examples. Let's start with example 1. Example 1 says 6 1/3, and remember you're copying this down, plus 4 1/2. And what I've said here is add or subtract your whole numbers. So 6 plus 4. That's our first part. All right. The second part is then add or subtract your fractions. 1/3 plus 1/2. Now, in my working year 7, I expect when you are going on to the next line that you can do 6 plus 4. What is 6 plus 4?
10.
Thank you. It is 10. I've still got to work this part out though. So I've still got my 1/3 plus 1/2. Now we've just done a few questions on this. How do I do 1/3 plus 1/2? What do I need to get the same first? The denominator. The easiest way to do it is multiply 3 times 2. What's 3 times 2? It is 6. So I'm going to have 6 on the bottom of both of them. And as I was saying to you like a few minutes ago, the easiest way almost to see it is to take the number from the bottom of the other one and multiply by that one. Take the number from the bottom, multiply by that one. So I then have to do 1 times 2. Come on, these are easy questions. Let's do it quickly. 1 times 2, 2. Good. I then have to do 1 times 3, which is?
3.
Yeah, good. 3. Well done. We're getting there. Again, here's my working year 7. I leave the 10 plus out the front. I've now got 2 6 plus 3 6. So if I've got 2 out of 6 parts plus 3 out of 6 parts, how many parts have I got in total? I've got 5 out of 6. But mathematicians, we love our laziness. We want it as short and sharp to the point as possible. I don't like beating around the bush. So I simplify it back to 10 and 5/6. That's the first one. Have you got that down? Because I'm about to rub it out. All right. Second question, I'll leave a bit of it there for you, is question 2, 7 minus 3/5. Now, that's 7 wholes minus 3/5 of a whole. Now, who thinks they could just work that out by looking at it? I could because I know what's going on. But let's break it down a little bit. What you could actually say is you've got 7 plus 1. Sorry, let's try that again. 6 plus 1 minus 3/5. Now look at what I do next with my little bit of maths, because what I can do is actually say 1 is the same as 5/5. A whole is the same as 5 over 5, or 5 divided by 5. So now all I need to do is take 3 away from 5. What is 5 minus 3?
2.
Thank you, good work. So now I've got 6 plus 2 over 5. So again, I simplify to 6 and 2/5. That's where I've got to get to when I'm doing that sort of question. Understand that 1 is the same as 5 over 5. All right, are we ready for the third one?
Yeah.
It's the hardest. All right, so let me rub that out, or start to. There's still a bit of it there. Question 3. We're getting there. Well done, Year 7. 5 over and 2/3 minus 3 3/4. Again, we start with our whole numbers. So I'm going to do 5 minus 3, and then I work out my fractions. I'm actually going to put a plus because that will make it easier to see what I'm doing. 2/3 minus 3/4. This is not going to be pretty, Year 7. We're going to have to do a bit of work, but that's all right. I love a bit of mathematical work, so let's get into it. 5 minus 3, easy one to start with. We've already done a question exactly like that. What's 5 minus 3? 2. Excellent. So my whole number is 2 plus 2/3 minus 3/4. All right, I've slowed it down. You could have jumped this line. What do I do first? I get the denominator the same. So I multiply by 4 and by 3. Times 4, times 4, times 3, times 3. Let's go to our next line. What's 2 times 4? 2 times 4?
8.
Good work. And what's going to be on my denominator? What's going to be the bottom number if I've got 3 times 4? 12. Good. Minus 3 times 3. What's 3 times 3?
9.
Good work. And again, 4 times 3 is 12. So I've now got 8 over 12 minus 9 over 12. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? It's going to go into negatives. Good work. So we've done some negatives this year and we should be able to handle it. What's 8 minus 9? Negative 1. So I've actually got negative 1/12. Oh, this looks a little bit like question 2 now, because what I've actually got is 2 plus minus, which we know becomes a minus or a negative, 2 minus 1/12. So I'm actually going to go back to question 2 and work it out that way. That becomes a 1 plus 1 minus 1/12. We're going to deal with what's in the brackets. 1 plus, and again, I'm looking for a base of 12 this time, so it's 12 over 12 minus 1 over 12. Okay, so what's 12 minus 1? What's 12 minus 1? Yeah.
13.
Minus. Would you like me to try that again? What's 12 minus 1?
8.
Thank you. So I've got 1 plus 11 over 12. My final answer, hopefully it's getting picked up over there, is 1 and 11 over 12. That's a fair bit more working, isn't it? Year 7. I'm giving you all the steps. I actually said you could have potentially cut out that line if you did the times 4 and the times 3 over there to get to there. If you understand that 2 minus a 12th gives you 1 and 11 over 12, you could possibly cut some of that. I'm slowing it down so you can see all the process. I reckon we actually need to practice these so we remember what we're doing. Remember though, whole numbers first, fractions second. Put a plus between the two. Let's get in and do some more maths work.